Hi there, Randy here from Coromant, and today I'd like to go over the procedure for lubricating your Coromant quick change clamping units. This is going to apply to static clamping units only, and I would recommend, if you're the type of shop running 24/7, changing tools frequently in and out of your clamping units, that you do this procedure at least twice a year. If you're the type of shop where you're only running 5 days a week and you're not changing tools quite so frequently, once a year will be sufficient to give you long service life out of your Coromant quick change clamping units. So there are a few basic tools required to do the job. We'll go over them and then we'll get started. You can see we're going to need a grease gun with a general purpose grease as long as it has EP additives for extreme pressure. We're also going to need a couple of Allen keys in this case. So for a C4 clamping unit, I have a 10mm Allen key, and for the set screw that's down inside the camshaft, it's a 3mm Allen key. With the product code numbers referenced on your screen, the first product code number you see is for the grease nipple on the left. I'm going to start out by taking the smaller Allen key, and as I mentioned, there's a set screw down inside of the camshaft here that we're going to need to remove. So I'm going to do that first. And just take that set screw out, and we're going to just set that aside. Next, I'm going to use the 10mm Allen key, and under normal circumstances for clamping and unclamping tools, it's important that 100% of the time you use a torque wrench, not an Allen key. However, for just this simple operation of greasing a clamping unit, an Allen key is satisfactory because we're not going to be applying any torque and clamping tools in and out. So what I'm going to do is rotate the camshaft in a clockwise direction to make sure that the camshaft is in a clamped position. And then we're just going to take the appropriate grease nipple. In this case, we have a standard grease nipple that fits down in that threaded hole where we took out the set screw, and it only needs to go in hand tight. Then, using the grease gun, we're going to click the grease gun nipple right onto the grease nipple and start to apply some grease by pumping the grease gun. And what you're going to notice, a lot of people ask, is how do I know how much grease to put in? The grease should start to seep out the edges around the edge of the camshaft when the clamping unit is full of grease. And you'll quite often notice some coolant that's trapped in the clamping unit will start to come out before the grease. So when you see the coolant coming out, that's a really good thing. So now I'm applying grease into this clamping unit. And as you can see here, maybe we can zoom in a little closer so you can see that grease is coming out around the edge of the camshaft. So now I just clean up that little bit of excess grease. I'm going to remove the grease nipple and then reinstall the set screw. And there we go. Our clamping unit is greased and ready to go. Now that we've completed the process for lubricating the clamping unit, perhaps occasionally you might have forgotten one small thing, and that is to put the camshaft in the clamping position. I know I've done this myself a few times. It's not a big problem. So the way to correct that is to simply remove the set screw again from the bottom of the camshaft socket, and then simply take your Allen key, put it halfway down into the socket, and rotate the camshaft into a locked position. What will happen there is excess grease will be forced out through the screw hole for the set screw in the camshaft. And that'll leave you with a bit of a messy, greasy situation to clean up out of the socket. Once you've cleaned up that excess grease out of the socket, simply replace the set screw back in there with the small Allen key, and you're back in business. Your completely lubricated and ready to go with your clamping unit. I hope this video was helpful and have yourself a great day.